Hey everyone, this is Thiago and we're gonna start our iOS development classes. This is gonna be the first class and we're gonna start with a very simple application, just creating a new project and display some UI components on the screen. And from there, we're gonna get to more advanced topics and also, you can now let me know if there is something specific you want to learn. But for today, as I said, a very simple application. Let's start our new project. Just press on Create New Xcode Project and select App, Next. Let's put the name Hello World. Make sure we are selecting storyboard as interface. And for language, we have Swift. Make sure we have everything else unchecked because we're not going to be using that right now. So next, create a project. Every time you create a new iOS project, we come with a main storyboard where we have UI components. And for that UI component, we also have already like a view controller on the screen. And that UI is associated with a view controller. If you click on the top right and you see that there is a view controller here, and we also have the file for that view controller. So that view controller is directly connected to that view controller on the main storyboard. So here we're going to drag a label, and if you go to the right in attributes inspection, we can see all kinds of UI settings that we can configure, like fonts and colors and labels. So here we also can set the text. So let's set it to Hello World. I'm going to move it to the center of the screen. And here we're going to select the simulator. So I'm going to just select one device to run our iOS application. And let's press play to run and build our application. The first time running takes a few seconds. And there we go. We have our first iOS application saying Hello World. And from here, we can add some more components and create a more advanced app, I would say. Let's move this label to the top and add some other components. Let's add a text field. I forgot to mention, to open that UI components, you have to press Command Shift L, and then you can see all the UI components here. We're gonna see more advanced components later, but for now, let's just use simple ones just for example. And let's also drag a button. And in the attributes inspection, we can set text that makes more sense for that button. So alright, we have 3 UI components in the view controller, on the storyboard and we have to connect those UI components to the storyboard, to the view controller. For that, let's press Option and click on view controller so we can open side to side. And then we can just click and drag on the components to the view controller so we can create the outlets. So here we're going to create an outlet for the label. I'm just going to put the name label for now because we're not going to have many UI components. We're also going to create a reference for the text field. I'm going to also call it text field. For the button, we don't need to create an outlet. What we can also create, besides outlets, we can also create action. So we can create an action for certain events on the UI. So you see that's not an outlet, it's going to be an action. And the event is touch up inside. So every time someone clicks on the button, we're gonna call this action, this function. So let's name it send text. So here, okay, we have all the UI components references on the view controller. Now, for this simple application, we can just send the text on the text field to the label when the user clicks the button. So let's use the label receiving the text from the text field. And after we're sending it, we want to clear that label because we already started the text on the label, so we don't need that anymore. We can just clean it. So I'm going to set it to an empty string. Now we can run our application, make sure everything looks good. And now we still have the label there with the initial text. When we also have the button, and when we write anything and we press the button, we should be able to see that text from the text field on the label. As you can see here, is cutting a little off the message is because we didn't put any constraints on the label. We're gonna get to that in the future when we learn more about auto layout. But for now, let's just increase the size of that label to make sure I have enough space to display the whole message. Now we have a bigger size and we can type it and the message is gonna show up there. In the future, we're going to learn more about how to organize those UI components in a way that supports any screen size and now. But for now, it's just a simple application. Thanks everyone.